Okay, so I am about to start my meal prep for the evening. So, if you watched my video last week, I used this Goodies corn-free bread mix, and I mixed in some ham, cheese, and chives. And it was absolutely delicious. It was so good that I was supposed to freeze part of it, but I ended up eating them every single day, and now I'm about to make it again. But this time I'm increasing the amount of ham. So last time I added 2.5 ounces of ham. This time I'm adding 4 ounces of ham. I'm going to keep the cheese the same just because I don't like to change too many things. So this is a 1/2 cup of cheese, and then I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of chives. So I'm going to, the light is really bad here. I'm going to mix it according to the recipe here. I'm not going to change anything. And then I'm going to fold in these ingredients and bake it up in the oven. Okay, so this is the finished product, and one thing I decided to do that I didn't do last week is I decided to just put a little bit of cheese on top, just to see if that gives it a cheesier taste without messing up the texture. So I didn't put more cheese inside, there's just more cheese on top. So I'm eager to see how this comes out. Okay, so as soon as I took my muffins out of the oven, I immediately ate one. It was so hot, but it was so delicious. And so this is the second one I'm going to eat for my dinner tonight. And I wanted you to see how it looks inside. So yeah, definitely more ham, but the texture is still really good. And yeah, I mean, I might add more cheese next time. But this is so delicious. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to make is a mushroom chicken dish. So let me show you my chicken first. So these are some chicken tenders that I have. I put some avocado spray on here because my air fryer, they recommend that you use avocado oil instead of olive oil because of the higher melting point. For the first time, I am using some of this Fresh Jack's seasoning. So Erica from Time to Shrink always talks about Fresh Jack's, and I like the fact that they're organic. So this citrus pepper, obviously it has citrus, it has pepper, it has a bunch of other things in there, but it doesn't have salt. So I put that on my chicken, and then I put a little bit of sea salt on here. So I am going to grill my chicken in my Ninja indoor grill. So this is a grill, but it's also an air fryer. So I'm going to use the grill function. So right now it's heating up. I'll put this in there in a minute. I'm going to use the grill function because it really makes everything really tender and delicious, and it has that nice barbecue grill taste to it. But on top of the chicken, I am about to do a mushroom sauce. So if you watch my meal prep video from last week, I had used up part of this block of cream cheese, and now I have some left, so I need to use this up. So I have some portobello mushrooms, I have a few white mushrooms, I have some heavy whipping cream, some bone broth, some garlic, and the recipes recommended like fresh thyme or parsley, but I didn't want to waste the money to buy it fresh, so I'm just going to use dried. So I always buy whole mushrooms because when I looked at the particular sliced mushrooms that I wanted to buy, they were all unwashed. Sometimes they are washed and sometimes they're not. So it is really annoying to try to clean a whole bunch of sliced mushrooms. So I like to buy whole mushrooms. They're also less expensive, and then it's easy for me to clean the mushrooms myself and then slice them up. So that's what I'm about to do right now, is I'm about to clean and slice up these mushrooms. And then I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, so I just put a tablespoon of butter in here. And then this is 4.5 cups of mushrooms total. that I am going to cook them down a little bit. And then I'll be adding in my garlic. The sound you can hear in the background is my grill here because wow, they're already looking pretty done. They've only been in there for a few minutes. Those are my chicken strips, so I'm going to have to turn those over. So I'm going to cook this down a little bit and come back to you in a second. Okay, so I cooked my mushrooms down for a while with just a tablespoon of butter. Then I added in 2 tablespoons of yellow onion, and I added in a couple cloves of minced garlic, and then I shuck in some thyme. So once again, for this recipe, I'm combining 2 different recipes together. One of the recipes had no garlic whatsoever, and I thought, well, that's just crazy. And I don't even remember how much garlic the one recipe had. I just put in what I thought was a good amount of garlic. I mean, I actually don't believe you can have too much garlic. And also the recipes called for shallots, which I'm not chopping up shallots. I bought this chopped onion because I'm going to be using a lot of onion for my next recipe. And so my chicken is already out of my Ninja Foodie. Look how beautiful it looks. It's already done, and it tastes just like barbecued chicken. Okay, so this probably just needs a minute more or so, and then I'm going to put my cream cheese in here. So I already forgot what I said. I have 5 ounces of cream cheese that I've chopped, you know, to make it easier for it to melt, and then I'll be putting some bone broth in here. Okay, so next I added in the 5 ounces of cream cheese, and I added in this whole container of bone broth. The recipe really only called for chicken stock, but I figured why not get the bone broth. So 240 mLs, 8 ounces. And so now I'm going to let this cook down. Smells delicious. Yeah. So anyway, I'll come back in a minute. So I divided up my chicken. I really did not have very much. This is only 2.7 ounces in each one of these. So this was only 3 servings of chicken. These are my mushrooms. You see how reduced and thick it is? It's so good. I did shake a little bit more thyme in there so I can have the herbiness. This is delicious. I wish that I had more chicken, but I am going to spoon this on top. Yummy. Okay, so this is my finished product. I ended up with about 3.5 ounces of sauce to put on top of my chicken. So, you know, as you can tell, when I heat this up in the microwave with the chicken underneath, it's going to, you know, the chicken is already juicy, but this is just going to bring extra moisture to the chicken. This is going to be absolutely fabulous for the next 3 days. I can't wait. I've been like licking my fingers, licking the spatula, licking the pan. It tastes so good. Oh, actually I forgot that I did put a squirt of lemon juice in the mushrooms for some acidity. This is so good. Okay, so my next meal prep recipe, this is going to be pretty simple. This is going to be a sausage and cabbage recipe, which I've actually never done, but for some reason it sounded really good. So this is my favorite brand, this Teton Waters Ranch. So I get this package from Whole Foods. It had 3 of these in here, and I've already eaten 1 package because I really like it. But of course you can use any type of sausage you want. I think you're supposed to use Kibasca, which I don't have. And I have tried the Kibasca of this particular brand, and it is very good. But I'm going to use what I have. I'm going to use Polish sausage. I have a cabbage here. I have my package of onions here. And I have my garlic. So I think the first thing I'm supposed to do is I'm going to chop up this cabbage, and I'm going to start sauteing this cabbage in some butter. Okay, so to start off with, I put in 2 tablespoons of butter, and now I am sauteing up 2 cups of garlic, which is all, 2 cups of onions, which is all that was left in that package. So 2 cups of onions, 2 tablespoons of butter, and after I sauteed this down for a while, I'll add my garlic in here. Okay, so I've added in about 6 to 7 cups of cabbage in with my onions and my garlic. So after my onions had started to brown, I put in a couple of cloves of garlic. So now I'm going to cook this down for a while. Like I said, 6 or 7, I cleaned my cabbage. And this is less than that whole head of cabbage because that was actually pretty big for the amount of sausage that I have. So I didn't use the whole thing. And I'm going to keep stirring this up because I don't want my onions and my garlic to burn. Okay, so I've already cooked this for a while. So I also added in some salt and some pepper, and this is already looking really good. So, once again, I'm not following a specific recipe. I looked at several different recipes. A lot of recipes did not add apple cider vinegar, or a lot of recipes didn't add any vinegar. I am going to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar to this, and then I'm going to put in my sausages. So I just used a package of 4 sausages that I'm going to be putting in here. Okay, so this is the finished product. I think the apple cider vinegar is what I needed. This is really sweet and spicy with the sausage. It's so delicious.